In the quiet, picturesque town of Elmsworth, Pennsylvania, new faces were a rarity, and the arrival of the Johnson family caused quite a stir. John Johnson, his wife Mary, and their daughter Emily had moved from the city seeking a peaceful life. John had taken a job at the local hardware store, and Mary planned to open a small bakery. The townsfolk welcomed them warmly, but as with any tight-knit community, there was an unspoken initiation rite for newcomers, an invitation to a snipe hunt. The idea of a snipe hunt was a long-standing tradition in Elmsworth, a playful prank meant to bewilder the gullible. The legend of the snipe was a harmless joke, a mythical bird that no one had ever seen. The townspeople would send the unsuspecting newcomer into the woods with a bag and a flashlight, promising that they might catch the elusive creature. The joke was that the snipe didn't exist, and the hunter would return empty-handed, much to the amusement of the locals. John, eager to fit in, accepted the invitation to the snipe hunt. He laughed along with the men at the hardware store, unaware of the dark turn this tradition would take. On a crisp autumn evening, the townsfolk gathered at the edge of the dense woods that bordered Elmsworth. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the sounds of rustling leaves. The sky was a deep indigo, the moon casting a silvery glow over the landscape. John stood with his flashlight and a burlap sack, ready for the hunt. The men gave him a few playful nudges and wished him luck. "Just follow the trail into the woods," said Tom, the owner of the hardware store. "You'll know the snipe when you see it. Good luck." John chuckled and headed into the forest, feeling a mix of excitement and apprehension. He knew it was all in good fun, but there was something unsettling about the deep woods at night. As John ventured deeper into the forest, the laughter and chatter of the townsfolk faded, replaced by the eerie silence of the wilderness. The beam of his flashlight cut through the darkness, illuminating the narrow path ahead. He listened intently for any signs of movement, the rustle of leaves or the snap of a twig. After about an hour of fruitless searching, John began to feel the chill of the night. He decided to turn back, realizing he had fallen for the prank. Just as he was about to retrace his steps, he heard a faint rustling in the underbrush. His heart quickened, and he pointed his flashlight towards the sound. To his astonishment, a pair of glowing eyes stared back at him. The creature was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was massive, with leathery wings and a serpentine body. Its scales glistened in the flashlight's beam, and it let out a low, menacing growl. John stood frozen in fear as the creature emerged from the shadows. This was no mythical bird or harmless prank. The snipe was real, and it was terrifying. The townsfolk's jest had unwittingly awakened something ancient and vengeful. The beast spread its wings, revealing a wingspan that spanned nearly 20 feet. It lunged at John, who barely managed to dive out of the way. Scrambling to his feet, he ran through the forest, his mind racing with panic. The snipe pursued him with astonishing speed, its growls echoing through the trees. John could feel its hot breath on his neck as he burst out of the woods and into the open field where the townsfolk waited. The sight of John, wide-eyed and breathless, emerging from the forest with the monstrous creature in tow, sent the crowd into a frenzy. The townspeople screamed and scattered, their laughter turning to terror. The snipe swooped down, its talons slashing through the air. It tore into the fleeing villagers with a ferocity that left no doubt of its intent. Blood and chaos filled the night as the creature exacted its revenge on those who had mocked its existence for generations. John ran to his family, urging Mary and Emily to get into their car. They sped towards their house, hoping to find safety, but the snipe was relentless. It crashed through the town, its roars shaking the very ground. Mary and Emily huddled inside their home, the doors locked and windows shuttered. John grabbed a shotgun, though he knew it would do little against the monstrous snipe. He stood guard at the door, his heart pounding. The creature arrived, smashing through the front wall with ease. John fired, the bullets ricocheting off its scales. The snipe lunged, its talons striking John down before he could react. Mary and Emily's screams echoed through the night, but there was no one left to hear them. By dawn, the town of Elmsworth lay in ruins. The streets were littered with the bodies of the slain, and buildings stood as charred, broken shells. The snipe had vanished, leaving behind only destruction and death. Rescue teams arrived from neighboring towns, drawn by the plumes of smoke and the eerie silence that followed the carnage. As they combed through the wreckage, they found no survivors. The story of Elmsworth and the terrible creature that had decimated it would become a chilling legend. In the years that followed, the tale of the snipe hunt and the monstrous beast that exacted its vengeance spread far and wide. Travelers passing through the area would hear whispers of the cursed town and the creature that lurked in the woods. The story served as a grim reminder of the dangers of mockery and the power of the unknown. The snipe, once a source of amusement, had become a symbol of terror. No one dared venture into the woods near Elmsworth for fear of awakening the beast once more. Years later, the town of Elmsworth was slowly rebuilt by those brave enough to return. The new residents spoke in hushed tones about the events of that fateful night, their eyes always wary of the forest that bordered their home. John Johnson's legacy lived on through his daughter Emily, who survived by sheer luck. She grew up with a deep respect for the wilderness and the mysteries it held. As an adult, she became a historian, chronicling the true story of Elmsworth and the deadly snipe. Emily's writings served as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the consequences of disrespecting the unknown. Her work ensured that the story of the snipe and the tragedy that befell her hometown would never be forgotten. The legend of the snipe hunt in Elmsworth, Pennsylvania, stands as a haunting testament to the power of myths and the danger of underestimating the unknown. The townsfolk's playful prank had awakened a force of nature, one that exacted a terrible price. As long as the story is told, the memory of the snipe and the devastation it brought will endure, a chilling reminder to treat all creatures, real or imagined, with the respect they deserve.